bounce at Football Park. The second semi-final. Pittman with a big run. King with an even bigger run. But it's Bickley out of the middle. He was sensational last week. Down towards Robran. McGrath marks in front. Jared.
Yes, interesting that Marty McKinnon has started at full forward, not full back. Ben Graham has picked up Tony Modra. And Barry Stoneham has gone on to the big ruckman.
McGrath goes to the outer side of the ground. Kilpatrick leaves it for his teammate, who's immediately shunted out of the way. Good strong body work. Kilpatrick in once again at the bottom. There'll be a bounce. Grant Vernon, Mark Nash is the umpire in question here. 96 All-Australian and Darren Goldspeak making up the trio in charge of proceedings tonight. Just in the Crows' attacking zone, but little in it as King pushes towards the wing. Smart unable to take it cleanly. There'll be another bounce on the outer side.
John Barnes playing centre half forward. Rod Jamieson has picked him up. Tim Hargraves is on one half forward flank, and he's being picked up by I'll get back to that. It's Peter Vardy.
Well, there's about 20 players around the bounce. Hasn't been able to clear the area yet. Pittman. Finally, Milburn slung as he kicks. Ball back towards centre wing. Good gather. Burns on the run. Ronnie, a little dribbly kick. And there's a free kick, according to umpire Grant Vernon. It's going Geelong's way.
It was push as he kicked it then, Peter. So crowd thinks it's a bit technical, but if the player is pushed in the back as he disposes of the ball, we see it here. He's clearly pushed as he disposes of the ball, and that's why he muffed the kick.
150 gamer Darren Jarman. He'll be keen to get into the action tonight. Ball, says the crowd. Barnes is underneath. No, it's not Barnes. It's Marty McKinnon. Also on the long sleeves, as Jared said, playing at full forward. We thought he might have lined up at full back on Modra. Chance of rain again tonight. It's not raining at the moment. It hasn't been raining since about 5 o'clock. Let's hope it stays that way. King up high, so too Colbert. Knock on by Mensch.
Oh,
Pickering from Mansfield goes at goal and kicks it. First blood to the Pussies.
What a great start to Geelong. They really have taken up the running, and not surprisingly, all players are running from all corners of Football Park to just make sure they get full benefit out of this as far as momentum. Great knock there from Lee Colbert, and another pretty smart tap across there, which sets up a pinch hitter up forward in Michael Mansfield. We've seen him get best player for Geelong a number of times in grand finals, and he started well.
And what a pair there, Liam Pickering, Mark Bickley. Bickley aggressive at the first bounce, getting the first clearance. Not too many better at it than he in the competition. Pittman knocks it on down. The Crows have a second opportunity to clear. Orman Allen, first one in. Smart now working the ball, taken by Scholl. Pressure was sufficient, and the kick just rolls out towards the boundary line. It's over, it's to be thrown in. Brad Scholl, real possession winner, and a runner there from the back line.
Curls.
Yeah, very poor checking by Bond. Then he's got the message from the runner to allow Mansfield to drift into that forward line on his own.
King beaten from the throw-in. Now a chance for the Crows to go down towards the right forward pocket. And Sean Wren out of bounds in front of him. Full house here at Football Park tonight. Well over 40,000. And it's in the right forward pocket. Stoneham and Wren to contest. The Crows looking for their first score. Wren punching it towards the goal.
That's a great tackle.
That is a sensational tackle. A cry of ball, but it's Mansfield who gets the hand pass away. They should get out of trouble. Barnes flicks it away to his teammate, and they're away. Back towards McGrath. If it sits, Tim McGrath's in business. It won't. Now he's in trouble. He's got to beat a couple. Swings it wide. It's going to be okay because Riccardi picked it up and gained 35 metres towards the wing, and Tim Hargraves sees it over the line.
And already a change. With a couple of players interchanging from half back to half forward. We see Tim Hargraves staying across the half forward line. He's now being picked up by Trent Orman Allen. Peter Vardy has gone forward, and he's on Brad Scholl.
Pittman beaten. It's pushed towards the line. Lee Colbert almost throws it back into Hargraves. He gives it to Barnes. Barnes, an interesting hand pass taken by Bickley. He's slung. A cry of ball from Gerard Healy. Not to be. Hargraves gives it away out in front of King and Kilpatrick. A chance for Kilpatrick. Gets the hand pass to Hargraves. This for number 2. A wobbly old kick goes in towards Steinfeld. Back to Johnny Barnes. Centering kick by Barnes. Into full forward. At the back was Buddha. Got a hand to it, but McLeod clears. Out on the full, so the clearance is only very, very short-lived. Ronnie Burns. to bring it back in. Thought about Pickering. Again thinks about him. Now wants to go longer. Mensch is back in the square. This short little one to Lee Colbert. Improves the angle but not the distance.
He's got the job on Jarman at the moment.
Kicked 13 goals this season, the boy from South Bendigo. 13-10. He's kicking from 55 metres. A drop punt goes in towards goal. That's a beautiful kick. A sensational kick. Lee Colbert gets his first and the Cats get their second.
Well, another 2 or 3 goals by Geelong, and this would really be an interesting start by them. A great goal there from Lee Colbert. It was set up by a nice little chip kick. Poor marking there by his direct opponent in Darren Jarman, as you're correctly nominated, Peter. But the finish was what it was all about. Just outside 50. That is a terrific kick under pressure. And here we see those two back in the middle of the ground, ready to go again.
So the Pussycats have got their noses in front. Jarman out of the centre for half forward. McGrath got underneath it. Chance was for Robran. Plenty of weight being used in the clinches. Now Johnson just outside 50. Robran on the burst up towards Modra territory. The ball over the head of Bond, and the first score for the Crows is a minor one. So the difference back to 11 points. Capacity crowd. There was a doubt the stadium may not be full. It certainly looks full from our vantage point here. Even the members, which was the question mark. Graham, towering punt kick, no win tonight. Barnes, Jamison, was he held? The umpire says no. Pickering, again a chance for Barnes, a little flip out to King on centre wing. Couple of fumbles, a toe poke, Crows with the numbers. Johnson with speed should get there first, close to centre wing. Has to duck back. Hargraves has got him in the footy. Drags him off it close to the boundary line. Taken away by Kilpatrick. It's out of bounds on centre wing.
When Kilpatrick, one of the strong midfielders for the Cats, very important task here tonight. Their ability to be able to run the ball into the forward line becomes equally important, as Geelong have lost some goal scorers out of their side of recent weeks. Hargraves come into the side for that occasion. Bickley out towards the boundary line again. Will be thrown in.
Well, you mentioned Kilpatrick, Terry. I think he's going to poll quite well in the Brownlow. It's a lot of the footy.
He's working there with Smart just to the right of screen. But now it's young King. Barnes from behind slaps it out wide towards the Cats' goal. Orman Allen in front. Colbert with him. Riccardi bursts through. Feeds a handball back inboard. Mensch another give. Kilpatrick's followed on down. Just scrubs it into the forward line. One-on-one contest. Mensch follows it on up. Hart, McLeod over the line again. Defensive work from the man in the back line.
Right forward pocket for the Cats. Positive start from them with goals from Colbert and Pickering. Pittman can pluck this one out of the air. Has a little bit of time. Finds McLeod, who chips to Kane Johnson. At 19 years of age, the youngest Crow, he finds Simon Goodwin almost down to centre wing. Hot start by the Cats if you've just joined us. 2 quick goals. Robran the target here. McGrath the spoiler. No. Good grab by Robran.
That's where Matthew has an advantage over Tim McGrath. McGrath will be able to go with him on the ground in a one-on-one pace situation. But he has got an advantage overhead, and he has to take some marks tonight.
Key at half forward. He drifts it into that position now, and there's a good mark by the big man, Sean Wren.
And we're going to see Matthew Robran down on the wing a fair bit tonight. There's no doubt Malcolm Blight's playing 2 centre-half forwards. Sean Wren starts in the forward pocket, then quickly moves out to the centre-half forward position, allowing Matthew Robran license to go up to the wings. That's not how he's played this season, but it looks like the pattern for tonight.
9 goals next to his name this year. He bends that one back. It looks okay. They're on the ball.
And once again, another fantastic finish by a big fellow. And Sean Wren is just a great athlete. That is a huge mark. And have a look at the height difference. Even the size of Barry Stoneham doesn't quite counter the long arms, the long reach of this gifted athlete. Coming back from a couple of knee reconstructions. He's one of their key players.
So the Crows get their first through Sean Wren. 13 3/4 minutes left in the opening quarter. King up high. Pittman missed it as well. A push out. Crows free kick. John Rosso.
King just ran straight at Pittman then and really had no eyes for the footy, so the free kick was warranted.
Looked like the start of Hawthorn and the Bullies. Colbert gets back into the space to take the mark. Colbert from centre half back. He's got McGrath out wide. He's gone more up towards Pickering territory on centre wing. Sits nicely for it. Oh, gets cannoned after he got rid of it by Ormond Allen downfield. Any question about that?
No, not really. He lined him up and he was late, so because he was late, it's downfield.
McKinnon into the pocket. Hargraves, the former Hawk, 5 metres out and closing, misses one behind. And he could have gone closer. So Tim Hargraves, a golden opportunity missed there. Now let's see Ormond Allen. Just a little bit too late. Another chance at left half back. Goes for distance with this kick. Kicks it back towards centre wing. Oh, smart! Got 5 miles in the air. Colbert, a little push from Robran. Ball nearly out of bounds. The big South Australians kept it in. And it is over the line now by Robran. And we'll see it thrown in next to the interchange gates. Let's look at this leap, Gerard.
Yes, well, there's no point jumping high if you don't grab it, but he is a gifted athlete and he's going to make a major contribution tonight once it's
So Pittman from the throw-in kicks towards centre half forward. Bond has the chance, just flicks it on back out. Defence, Sanderson works with Stoneham, eventually to Milburn. Left foot, Hocking holds play up now. Feeds on back to the run of Graham. He should let go a long one. Does towards half forward. Pickering floating down. Wastes no time. Feeds it to Mensch. Runs on to 50. Goes long from that line. Directly towards goal, but it fades away. A very, very promising build up there from the Cats. Right away from defence. Hocking started the game right on the full forward line, but now starting to move up into play. Hart working with McLeod. Kicks out towards half back. Chances there. Bickley couldn't quite get to it. Hocking does the roving. Flicks it on back outside again. Cats coming long into the forward line. Trent Ormond Allen, great spoil. Burns can't keep his feet. Hargraves off the ground. They've missed the lot.
Well, that's just a magnificent performance by Trent Ormond Allen. Hasn't played footy for 6 weeks. Was out with a broken jaw. And, well, he's come back and saved the Crows a goal here. This was good hands there by Buddha Hocking. Set this one up. But have a look at the second effort of Trent Ormond Allen. We've missed it now. We'll come back to it shortly.
Jamison brings it out. And the gentleman that Gerard was speaking of, Trent Ormond Allen, in his first final, gets it down to Smart on centre wing, and it dribbles over the line in front of Peter Riccardi. Good start. Early rain today here in Adelaide. It's cleared. The ground is in perfect condition.
And Colbert has moved on to Nigel Smart, as we just saw.
King trying to do the ruck work from behind Pittman. Pittman gets the tap. Costa could have been held. Play on is the call. It comes to Pickering. He does it well. Round the body with a left footer up towards Hargraves. Tried to use the body in opposition to Ormond Allen. Belted clear. Bickley with strength. He was sensational last week. Socket off the ground down towards the 50. Off the head. Soccer style almost. And Nigel Smart is the man who's going to pick himself up and take the free kick in opposition to Lee Colbert.
Yes, and Lee Colbert is playing Nigel Smart like he is an attacking player, because he's going man on man. It's a tagging situation. But if Geelong get the ball, he'll be certainly bursting away and trying to get a goal himself.
Pittman's his target there. And he may have accentuated it, but there was a push there, John Russell.
Yeah, he certainly did make sure that Darren Goldsmith saw it, that's for sure. You see it again here, and King behind him just gives him that little nudge. Certainly enough to put him out of the contest, and that was why the free kick was paid.
Towards Wren again, and Robran. Robran has a second attempt. Can't get a boot to it, and there'll be a bounce on left half forward for the Crows. They're in attack, and they trail by 8 points.
Kilpatrick now at the job on Darren Jarman. Right on 50, left half forward flank for Adelaide. Wren gets front position. McGrath in the road. Jarman, a quick kick up towards Sanderson, who takes the mark back to Hocking. Hocking trying to set something up over the head of Barnes. He nearly stumbled. Scholl gets him out of a hole. Not a great kick. Mensch and Caven. Caven rides his Geelong opponent into the ground. Burns and McLeod. Scholl again on centre wing. Brushes one tackle. Nice shepherd. Again a bad kick. Barnes again a fumble, but the Cats retain possession. Barnes kicks up towards half forward, punched by Smart, doesn't clear the zone. Oh, he butters up well, beautifully done. Sets it up for McLeod. McLeod at right half back, and Wren, great use of the body. Back it comes to Jamison. And a little bit too wide for Robber, and it's out of bounds on 50.
I would have thought, John Russo, that was questionable use of the body.
I think it was. It was very early, and it certainly wasn't intending to assist him taking the mark. It was just intended to get rid of the opponent.
But another look at Trent Orman-Allen's great second effort. He was up there, he got up, he made sure that there was heaps of pressure on and saved a goal in a 2-on-1 situation.
So the Crows in their forward 50, but it's Stoneham who flicks it out to the left. Sanderson can't win it for the Cats. Bickley to Costa. Costa charging through, can't beat the hocking tackle. Ball spills to Goodwin across on the left foot towards the top of the 50. It's a one-on-one race. Modra in the front position from Graham. Just paddling it this way, that way. Good play, Tony Modra. Allows the support to come in. Working towards the line. Goodwin again. Really in the front position there. And it's young Clay Sampson doing all the hard work there.
And Clay Sampson's got a very important job. He's picking up Brad Scholl, who's already had 4 possessions. He's the Cats' 3rd highest possession winner for the season, and he would do very well to get him up the ground and away from that sweeping position he does so well across the defensive half for the Cats.
So Wren, you saw the handball stats there with Geelong really generating run through the midfield with the use of their hands. Pittman, the player, he's going for him. Is it going to reach? Doesn't get there. Riccardi stands the ground, pops it from behind.
Now, I really think that's got to be a 50 as well, Wheels. Clearly the mark had been taken. Riccardi's sitting there like or not the mark taken, but just very, very late. Very, very late.
And a touch more than just late, I think, John, too.
Yep, violently meeting a player in those circumstances can result in worse than a free kick.
Well, he was pretty lucky to get the free kick in the finish, because it was a mark that should have been taken. And we'll have another look at it. Here's Riccardi, and through comes Pittman. David Pittman wasn't playing in round 13 when they copped a fair belting at the hands of Geelong, but making an impression already.
Orman-Allen goes for a big fist on centre wing. Costa soccers it clear, only as far as Bickley and Pickering, who's got him. There'll be a bounce on centre wing.
Stephen King has moved into the forward line. Geelong lucky that they've got so many tall men out there at the present time. They can throw them around, allowing King to just make himself a nuisance value up forward.
Goodwin off the ground is going to be okay. Jamison, Kane Johnson inside 50. Johnson goes for goal, but he's wide. Oh, to Modra. Lucks of fortune.
Ben Graham couldn't do much more than that, could he?
Well, when he put the body on him, I thought that was tremendous defensive work, but Tony Modra just kept his hands in the right position. It was almost a reflex slips catch. And like all players, despite the fact that he is the leading goal kicker in the competition, his form has been down a little bit, and this may well determine his night.
The start of his 5th final. They love it at the back of the goals. It's a behind.
They are working on the song though down there, the Crow supporters.
What do you think of the start, boys, in the outer? Couchy?
Oh, it's a good start by Geelong. That's what we want against the Crows. You've got to start well against them in the first quarter, put pressure on them. They were good first quarter side, Crows, but I'm happy to be 7 points in front at this stage.
Greg, your thoughts?
Well, it's very promising for the Adelaide, because I think Wren and Pittman are both doing very well. So they're making certainly a present.
Riccardi marks the kick out. A chance now for Burns in the middle. Ronnie's an exciting player, and he gives it across to Lee Colbert. Does it beautifully. Off to Liam Pickering. Should result in a goal 35 metres out. And I think he might have kicked it.
Barnes having a run in the ruck. Started on the wing in a few games recently. Smart out wide. Burns and McLeod make it a foot race. Burns gets there first. Did he kick it out on the full? No, he didn't. He just kicked it out. So the throw in on centre wing on the outer side. Terrific crowd, great atmosphere. Neil Curley on the boundary.
Yeah, from down here at ground level, they're very alert, the Geelong players. They're breaking out of half-back with 2 or 3 running players. And Pickering, of course, at this stage is very, very dangerous.
With 2 goals. Pittman and Barnes. Barnes missing a lot of the season with the broken arm. Costa. Bombs it high. Jarman at the back. McGrath off the ground. Johnson stood his ground. That took courage. Terrible kick. Let himself down with that. Modra well out from goal. Colbert tries to get it to a teammate in Sanderson. Sanderson dragged down as he kicked. Good tackle. Costa on Graham. Ball jarred free. Barnes and Modra now smart as they try to set something up at left half forward. Modra went off the ground and Barnes was on the end of it. Free kick for in danger.
Yeah, that's a tough one, really, because Johnny Barnes really just dived on the ball to smother it, so it's a bit unfortunate when a player's about to kick it. Very, very fortunate. I mean, Barnes has tried to smother and luckily rewarded with a kick for kicking in a manner likely to cause injury.
Barnes goes wide, out to Scholl. He's had a fantastic season. Modra chases, won't catch him. Long bomb down towards Mensch and Caven. Over the top, Jamieson. Knocked back towards Ormond Allen, who takes it on the second grab. Thought about giving it to McLeod. Goes out wide instead. Past Jamieson, sets it up for Robran.
Swings around the big man, well up from the centre forward position to Jarman. Big night for Darren Jarman, his 150th game. Potentially his 200th goal. 3 short of that, but Wren, he's the man at half forward who's giving them everything. Jarman on the burst again. The kick under pressure from the front. Hocking works with the other defenders from the Geelong side, pushing out the front of Hargraves. Has a lot of space if he can take it cleanly. Now just steps back, holds the ball up in towards McKinnon. A one-on-one contest. They stumble with each other. Naturally not a good kick at all. Hargraves, that little bit of pressure, returning to the side this week. To half-back, floats over the top of Hocking and Ormond Allen. Colbert charges the ball down, breaks through Ormond Allen, kicks now towards the full forward line. Mensch pushing back in the front position, just drops it down, no ground support there. Goodwin turns this way, that way, finds himself into trouble, and very thankfully, I believe, sees it ball go over the line and out of bounds.
Tim Hargraves having a spell after that wild kick that went out of bounds on the full. In the Cats attacking zone, Barnes floats over the top. Jamieson was there, couldn't take it cleanly. Comes to the bottom. Goodwin was also there. Ronnie Burns sneaks out the back door, pops one over the top to his big man. King, 20 metres out. Oh dear, out of bounds on the full.
It's 2 bad misses from about the same spot, Jared. One from Hargraves and then that one.
Yeah, he probably should have done a lot better with that one, but sometimes you're better off with less time to think about it.
Goodwin is the target. With 4 minutes remaining in this first quarter, Caven's been in very good form, was excellent last week, and he's going to relieve from the back pocket. We'll look down towards Pittman and co. Costa offering the short lead. He opts for Pittman on centre wing. Barnes is the effective spoiler. Waiting down is Kilpatrick. Back towards the 50 again. Ormond Allen going with the flight of the ball showed courage. It's soccered by Caven towards the line and over. As we go to Matty Campbell on the boundary. Matt?
Yeah, Sandy Gary has got his forward line working quite well. He's keeping McLeod and Hart, Adelaide's attacking defenders, away from the ball so that their midfield can run into space.
Pittman, Milburn, Barnes.
Kick.
And that's beautifully delivered. Snell has taken the mark. Well, there's no wind. The flags are pretty limp next to the flagpoles. So distance you wouldn't think would be a problem here. Chance to increase Geelong's lead. Oh, that's another terrible kick. He's hooked it right out in front of goal. Big pack of players. Burns just couldn't quite get a handle on the footy. McLeod takes the hand pass, and there's going to be a free kick Adelaide's way. Advantage is paid. Hart mops up. Kicks out wide. Costa confronted by Kilpatrick. Beautifully done. The coach would have loved that, but there's a whistle.
Free kick paid for a push in the back to Costa, Peter.
And Darren Jarman's pushed deep into the forward line.
Gee, that was a bit stiff. Looked perfectly legal from here. Stoneham. The big cat. McGrath. They love a redhead at Geelong. But well, let's see what happened here. Gee.
Yeah, Kilpatrick, contact from the front like that in a marking contest. Here we see Costa set to take the mark, and Kilpatrick, firm contact from the front will always result in a free kick.
Well, I still didn't think there was much in it, but anyway. I'm not the fifth umpire, you're the fourth, and you've got the say.
Yeah, no, just designed to protect the player set to take a mark, though, Peter, that's all.
Fair enough. Bounce on centre wing as the clock ticks down to quarter time. 2.25 minutes remaining. Wren beats Stoneham. Costa confronted by Colbert. Picked up by Hart. Bounces it towards half forward. Oh, Barnes on the burst. Beautifully played, Jono.
Feeds the ball forward. Stoneham can't take it on the first go. It's still across the half-back line for the Cats. Robran back out to Wren. The big man getting plenty of ball at half forward. Kicks into 50 to Modra. 1-2. Missed it. Play on calls the umpire. Geelong defence working overtime just at the moment. McGrath breaks out from half-back. Kicks long towards half forward.
Great kick.
Taken by Snell, looking to move it on. Kilpatrick once again from the centre of the ground to within 30 metres of goals. Mart, what a defender, looks to go to the outer side.
Finds Clay Sampson in that position, Terry. He goes even wider. And they can settle it down here. The skipper, Mark Bickley, comes towards his big man, Sean Wren, on centre wing. Just on a minute remaining in this quarter. A quarter that at the moment, if you've just tuned in, belongs to Geelong. Here's King in the middle, taking the hand pass from Sanderson up towards Snell. He's going to have to be quick. In fact, now he's got plenty of time. He lopes in towards goal, and he pops through another one to the Cats. Jason Snell, the boy from Upwey, gets his 13th goal for the season, and the Cats 4th for the quarter.
And Geelong have basically set their forward line up as that if they win the ball through the middle of the ground, they're going to have plenty of space from the half-forward line all the way through to full forward. And here you see Jason Snell. He could have just popped the ball over, and Marty McKinnon would have run in to an open goal. Looking dangerous, the forward line.
Snell kicking his 13th goal from the 9 games he's played this year. Under a minute to go before quarter time, and it's a great start by Geelong. Good tackle by Hocking on Costa. Play on was the call from the umpire. Ormond, Allen and Wren go in solidly for the Crows, but it will be balled up about 5 metres from the circle.
And Malcolm Blight has conceded the tag that Geelong put on Nigel Smart. Lee Colbert was taking him out of the game, so he's taking control in a tactical sense and put him to full back.
Milburn kicks to half forward. Good mark taken by Snell. Similar position to the shot he had before. In fact, he might just be a little bit further out. Umpire Grant Verdon telling him where the mark is. He comes in now. Plenty of distance on it. King in the goal square, and likewise Mensch off the hands of the pack for a rush behind.
Of course, you mentioned that Jason Snell has kicked now 13 goals. He in fact got 5 of those in one quarter against Port Adelaide. So he'd be full of confidence against these Adelaide-based teams.
McLeod on the outer side. Just a couple more kicks remaining in this quarter. Goodwin takes the mark. He's on half-back. Will drift towards centre wing, but that will be all as the siren sounds to end the first quarter here at Football Park. A quarter that has belonged to the visitors. And Gary Ayres would be happy with that term, with goals coming from Liam Pickering, who's been the sole multiple scorer on the ground. He's got 2. Lee Colbert has 1. Jason Snell has 1. Whilst for the Adelaide Crows, Sean Wren is their sole contributor at this stage, with 1 kick midway during the first term. Johnny Barnes makes his way over to the pack. Malcolm Blight heads out towards his charges. So a break here at Football Park. At quarter time, Geelong a 4-4-28. 20-point leaders over Adelaide 1-2-8. Paul and Greg, your thoughts on the first quarter, Couchy, briefly.
Just two different contrasts and styles there. Crows are getting too slow up to their forward line, and Geelong are moving well into their back line, in through the forward line, in through the corridor. Steve, what do you think?
I think the Crows are just laying off till after half time.
Yeah, right.
I'll start on them.
Good on you, Sid. Yes, have a chat later. Thank you very much, Sid. And Couchy there. He's only been in here 5 minutes and he can pick them out. As the second quarter, Couchy, gets underway, and Robran has the ball between centre wing and right half forward. Actually, he's a marvel, Sid. Hasn't missed a game for the Crows. Been a sensational supporter. Modra's the target. Couldn't take it cleanly. Buddha Hocking gives away a behind. And his timing was perfect. Greg Anderson, your thoughts at quarter time, Ando?
Well, I think the first quarter was obviously Geelong's way. They had so many more numbers at the ball, and I think that caught Adelaide a bit out, especially when Geelong were going to their forward line.
Here's Milburn being targeted for the kick-in. That was a beautiful kick too. He finds McGrath floating past, who drifts it up towards centre wing and taken by Liam Pickering, who had an excellent first quarter. They're lining up the Cats to take that one. Snell is at the bottom. Ronnie Burns is there as well. They combine again as Ronnie flicks it into the forward line. Marty McKinnon was the target, but Jarman is there. Defends again. Comes back towards Goodwin. Simon Goodwin takes a strong mark. A good first quarter from him.
Goodwin at right half back. Crows fans wanting him to get it moving quickly because Wren's on down the field. That's where he's gone. Wren at the back, too tall. Scholl was taken high. The umpire lets it go. Sampson onto the skipper. Bickley centering kick on the lead. Modra got two hands to it. Couldn't complete it. Graham will paddle it wide. He does. Riccardi throw. He's bringing it back.
Tough call, that. I mean, Darren Goldsmith's obviously paid it because the ball was in fact lifted a little bit, but gee whiz, it certainly wasn't lifted very much. It'd be interesting to see it again.
There was a great attack on the footy by Tony Modra, and also courageous work by Brenton Sanderson there to come across and really make him have to earn that. We'll have another look at this.
Yep, comfortable with that throw, no worries.
Jeez, he didn't get his left hand on.
That was a bit stiff. Robran. Great first half of the season, and he's threaded it for a goal to the Crows. So Adelaide hits back early in the second quarter. Matthew Robran's first goal, the Crows second. Well, I must admit, Jared, in the call, I thought he was a bit stiff, but technically the umpire
uses the left hand to propel the footy, and I reckon he could argue.
We can't really tell, Jared, but he certainly picked it up with the right, didn't he?
He did. But sometimes the handballs are so quick that you need slow motion to determine whether it was a throw or not. But at the end of the day, it's got Matthew Robran a goal.
So Matthew Robran takes advantage of it. Crows, the first of the second quarter. Cats trying to work it out. They can't. The Crows win that one into half forward McGrath. Superior judgment on that occasion. The ball just drifting over the top of Robran. Tim McGrath, as he usually does, looks towards one of the flanks. This time he works with Hocking and Graham. They have Barnes loose on the wing. Settles on that position. In towards half forward. Mansfield will look to move on quickly. The left footer drops it into the McKinnon lead. Can't take the ball. It's loose at ground level. Mensch, a little bit of a fumble. Colbert missed it. Coming back is McKinnon. The Cats working at ground level, but the numbers are really with the Crows, and they're able to bottle it up. There'll be a bounce.
Curls to the boundary line.
Yeah, at quarter time, Malcolm Blight wasn't particularly impressed with the performance in the first quarter, and he gave the old coach's icy stare to young Bond and also Orman Allen. They have to lift their game.
Tell you what, you two blokes give away a lot with your body language. You don't look too happy down there, but there's a long way to go. Here's Trent Orman Allen. He gets the hand pass away. The Crows looking for another quick one in this second term. Bond had it, lost it. Goodwin gets it out to Kip Costa. Costa's away from centre wing. He looks up towards Modra. Modra at the back now. Good defensive work, and it's pushed towards the line. There'll be a throw-in. Matty Campbell,
yes,
you too look down.
Thank you very much, Danny. The level of enthusiasm of the Geelong camp was such that they just coached themselves. Gary Ayres virtually only talked to David Mensch about leaving the centre-half spot open.
Throw in there. In the Crows attacking zone, almost down into the pocket region. Wren tries to flick it back, then goes again, goes over the head of Hocking. Charging through, good tackle by Sanderson, but it comes to Costa. Kip Costa, 20 metres out, 15 out, and bang! They're back. Costa gets his first, 2 quick goals. And she's hotting up here at Football Park.
Yeah, Kim Costa's had a pretty good battle in the middle of the ground with Gary Hocking. Two fellows very hard at the football. And interesting that he goes himself here. Troy Bond there would have been desperate to get that because I reckon he's under notice from the coach. Michael Mansfield has chopped him up, and he may well be just minutes away from being dragged, but didn't get it. Good goal.
5 possessions to Kim Costa. 3-3 to 4-4, and the Crows with the first 2 goals of the second quarter. Costa over the top of his opponent. That was Pickering. The umpire will ball it up. Grant Vernon to do the honours. Just on the attacking side of centre for Geelong. Vernon, Nash and Goldspink in charge this evening. Pittman over the top of Barnes. Pickering did well. Tight situation. Colbert has taken the mark at half forward. And within kicking distance, he'd be about 30 to 35 metres out directly in front of goal. 13 goals against his name for the season. Third in the club's best and fairest last year. And this shouldn't present too many problems to him. No wind to speak of tonight. Here's the grab again. Lee Colbert. Sure hands. Needs to convert here to stop the Adelaide thrust early in the second term. From behind the goal kicker. He hopes he'll be a goal kicker. And off the boot it looked all right. The crowd's pretty quiet. That's a good indication for a Geelong fan. He's got it. So a quick reply. Colbert kicks his second. Liam Pickering also has 2 for the Cats. It's 5-4 to 3-3.
Yeah, great mark this one. Sometimes the best space is behind you for a forward. The defenders are always trying to block your lead, and if the ball's coming over your head, that gives you the right position. And very generous of the Crow supporters to wave those flags just to allow Lee Colbert to know which way the wind was blowing.
So Colbert's second goal has stopped the run of the Crows, who got the first 2. Wren at centre bounce, uses his height. Very important, the ball that spins around here. A couple of hard players in amongst it. Ben Hart, what a player he was last week. Aggressive running from half back. So umpire Mark Nash does it again, just some 10 metres this side of it. Wren again, the big fella, thumps it out. Riccardi's first back. Wants to use his left, so it's not an effective kick. Robran gives it on off to Jarman, the quality user of the ball in this side. Look at that. Modra couldn't complete the mark. Here's the chance now. Goodwin pushes it along, can't keep the ball in, and it's over the line and out.
Modra in trouble.
And he's having a tough time of it at the moment because he's relying on pinpointed passes, and Ben Graham has been good enough each time to at least get a hand on it or get the assistance of some other defenders.
So Crow's chance. Modra responds, up he goes, thumps it goalward. The Cats are under pressure in the goal square.
Free kick to Jarman for holding the man peg, Wheels. Grant Vernon clearly signalled that, so play continued for a short time, but it was prior to that passage then.
So there's no doubt that Modra jump and the big thump really put the pressure on the Cats in the goal square. And they've earned and given the free kick away to Jarman. 197 career goals to Darren Jarman. This, for a player who uses the ball so well, should be a gimme. From some 12 metres out, it is a gimme. They've got their third of the quarter.
And importantly, the Crows have got some of their key forward players starting to lift their game. Matthew Robbins had a good start after being soundly beaten in the first term by Tim McGrath. And Darren Jarman's had a number of important possessions early in this term, and that goal will, I'm sure, spark him to better deeds in this match.
Back to a 7-point margin here at Football Park, favouring the Cats. Jarman gets his first. Barnes floats high with Wren. Hart went floating through, but it's Colbert who gives it back to Johnny Barnes. Having a bit of a fit of the fumbles tonight and eventually lose it, but he's got good backup support. Picked up by Riccardi. A floating kick down in towards David Mench at full forward. Couldn't take the mark. Andrew McLeod picks up the crumbs. Comes wide. He wants the boundary line, and he finds it almost down to centre wing.
Riccardi caught one after he got rid of that too.
And Andrew McLeod continues to mop up. It's a very good matchup, this one, because if Gary Ayres wants to get McLeod out of the action, he has to sacrifice Ronnie Burns, and Burns is always going to be hanging around the goals and taking McLeod to the action.
Wren wins it. Kilpatrick was held. Back to Wren. Play goes on. Down towards the right half forward. Rodrin did well to trap that. Then give it to Bickley, who wants Modra. Again, one grab. Can't control it. Sampson's got to beat a couple. He can't. It's pushed towards the line. There'll be a throw-in.
Well, Ben Graham absolutely starring at full back. Tony Modra has been pinpointed for 3 or 4 passes, And you just see there very quickly that he went for the arm. He couldn't get up at the ball. You could have said that perhaps there was a bit of a push out, but that was fantastic play there by Ben Graham.
He's been in very good form, Ben Graham. Bond couldn't take it, leaves it, and it's taken to ground with Scholl.
And another important possession, wasn't it, to Matthew Robin? He has lifted significantly in this first 10 minutes of the second term. After McGrath really did give him a bit of a touch-up in the first term.
The Crows a chance here, although it's going to be Scholl, the boy from Horsham who runs his full distance and brings the Cats out of trouble. Back towards centre wing, only as far as Wren and co. Neither could take it. Snell gets caught. McLeod goes again. Gets the hand pass inboard. No one at home. Picked up by Snell. Back towards McLeod. Tries to belt it clear. Costa tries to do the work from behind. Hocking through strongly. Ormond Allen stood him and did it well. Costa again. He rides one. Got one high. Goes on with it. Milburn takes him out. And finally it's Kilpatrick.
Plenty of tough stuff in there. Kilpatrick up towards half forward. Caven punches from King. Gee, I thought he had the mark. Caven, who's had a fantastic season. Up to Vardy. Oh, he spilled it. He was away before he'd even taken the mark. Pressured by Sanderson. And he's yet to get a disposal.
He's just been a little bit nervous today, Peter Vardy. He's probably trying a little bit too hard. And you wouldn't be surprised to see Malcolm Blight just take him off the ground for a 5-minute spell, let him settle down and refocus on the job at hand.
Robin and McGrath, won by the latter. And the ball flipped up towards the boundary line by Sanderson, and effectively it's out of bounds. A little bit closer to Geelong's goal, a little bit closer to centre wing.
Stephen King coming off the ground for Carl Steinford. He'll go to centre half forward, and they'll just get a little bit more mobility down there. Maybe even going to a defensive role on Peter Caven.
Robin wins it this time. Still a hard ball. Hocking was taken high. Colbert goes for Pickering. Jarman comes at him. Great play, Jarman, in his 150th. Already a goal kicker in this quarter. Bond trying to get his first possession. He gets taken high and he'll get it. Too far out to score. Bond, 65 to 70 metres from goal. He's got Costa on short. It's gone a little bit longer, down to Modra and Pittman. Modra, the big fly from the back, couldn't complete the mark.
Free kick against
Modra.
Got it. Free kick against Modra for marking interference. Hands on the back, just climbed up the pack. Secondary option was to take the mark and just did everything before then.
And there's a 50 being paid also. You'll see the hands go on, a bit of a push out there, but if he had taken it, I'd reckon he would have been paid.
You're probably right.
Well, in Warwick Kappa's day, they were paid, Jerry, weren't they?
Well, and so they should be paid.
Thank you very much.
Not a realistic attempt, and I think that's what's cost him.
For sure.
Who's having a great match so far. Good duel with Modra. Graham, oh, look at the distance in that. He's kicked it 60 metres. Jamieson will punch from behind. Does that effectively. Hart, dual All-Australian, couldn't handle it. Colbert, a hand pass too severe for him. Ormond Allen went through solidly. Back into the side today. Mensch, a little give up towards or inside 50. It's all tied up again. We'll see a ball up centre half forward for Geelong.
Lee Colbert, last man up. He's just played 2 games of the last 6, including last week. Shoulder and hamstring injuries have interrupted his second half. But he's right into the fray here this evening. Pickering again, he has 2. He's dragged this one across towards the top of the square. Barnes, Caven's first one back. Happy to push it through to the one behind.
Geez, it was an excellent piece of defensive work there by Caven, wasn't it? He didn't know who was behind him. He may well have had some support by virtue of a Nigel Smart voice. But we do see a change happening now, Sandy.
Yes, Chadron Toole is about to get his chance and come onto the ground. And the player you thought may have a spell just for a while is coming off in Peter Vardy. In the meantime, play goes on at the outer side of the ground. Colbert slaps it back to keep it in play, trying to accommodate Peter Riccardi, but Robin was there as well. And finally, it's the man who turned 33 yesterday, David Goldspeak, who comes in for a bounce. This Peter Vardy just getting the message there. Next to him on his left is Matty Connell. So a bounce on the outer side. Barnes doing the work for the Cats with Colbert at the bottom, and as usual, Hocking. It was Riccardi who got it out.
Incorrect.
You can't do it like that. And down goes the birthday boy, Darren Goldspeak. But my word, he bounced very quickly up again.
No damage done, Sandy.
Do you practice those at training, those rolls, John?
No, mate.
Oh, I think John had a line there and he wasn't going to use it. But for all the tea in China, back to the action. Here's Jarman on the outer side. Steadies it down. He's in cruise control at the moment. Towards Kane Johnson. If it sits, he can go through with a hand pass. He does so now. There's Vardy just getting off the phone. He'll be back in the fray soon. Don't worry about that. In towards full forward. Modra runs into a brick wall in the form of the cat defence being ably led by Graham. Comes towards the half-back line. McLeod shows dash. Socket off the ground. And touched. It goes towards the line and Ronnie Burns sees it over.
And Geelong doing a magnificent job blocking up the Crow forward line. There's just two players. There's no players now inside the forward 50 for Geelong. But up at the other end of the ground, Tony Modra's got nowhere to lead. He's got David Pittman down there beside him. He's got Troy Bond going to Crum, but it's further up the ground where there's no space.
Wren gets it down nicely to Chad Rintoul. He finds Jamison. Back to Rintoul. 55 out. Rintoul goes towards full forward. Scholl will now have to tidy up in the back pocket. Modra tries to get him and doesn't, and eventually a behind is conceded. So one addition to the board as the Cats make a change. Marty McKinnon off and Sean Simpson comes onto the ground.
He had to be careful not to run over the line with the football there. I think the umpire would have pinged him for deliberate out of bounds, and so he had to get it through the behind. Actually hit the post in the end. Graham, nearly to the centre of the ground. Terrific kick, not with the advantage of the side. The 150 gamer, Jarman has got it to Jamison inside the centre square.
Once again, he was looking for some space, Tony Modra. There was no space. You saw Rod Jamison holding the football, trying to find someone to give it to, but in the end, he tried to...
Cardi, a little give from Stoneham, gets it back again. Kick to half forward. Now the Cats can set something up through Hocking. He takes the hand pass from Snell. Smart. Bickley confronted. Burns. Kilpatrick back to Snell. No near a goal. Crows with the numbers. At the back is Steinfort. Simpson just onto the ground. Pushed. Nothing for it from the umpire. And there's 4 or 5 Crows. Jarman to Ormond Allen. Took it a little bit easy. Burns. Great tackle, Ormond Allen. Ball out of bounds. And the umpire says free kick. Trent Ormond Allen, a former Demon.
Caught red hot here and just puts it out over the boundary line.
Up to Colbert. And Colbert takes it out of bounds. So a throw in close to centre wing. Just on the attacking side of centre for Geelong. 8 minutes left to half time. It's been a good quarter by the Crows. Minch now having a stint in the ruck. Works his way in front of Wren. Johnson confronted by Hocking. Costa, lightning hand pass. Nearly hit Darren Goldspink, but he was good enough to get out of the road. Picked up by Minch. No one to give it to. And finally Snell off a step.
Pushes into half forward for the Crows defence. Jarman coming in for disposal number 17. What a game he's played to date. To Goodwin. The left footer. Kicks towards Wren. He's given a focal point. It's coming there. The contest is on. That's all he has to provide. And more often than not, it has been Costa who has been under the Wren contest. And that's not a bad young man to have working right in the heat of the kitchen. Matty Connell just warming up on the interchange line. Mensch taking Wren on, but Wren once again the right arm, but only as far as Kilpatrick. Hocking under pressure, weaves something, ends up with Pickering, steps out towards Burns and McLeod, but McLeod once again's got him covered.
He's on centre wing almost, Andrew McLeod. His favourite food is his mother's curried goose. This time he finds Nigel Smart. Towards Jamison on the outer side of the ground as Matty Connell prepares to come on. Jamison short. Robrin comes charging out. The ball is back towards Hart. Back on centre wing. Gives it away to Chad Rintoul. He's still in the middle. Now looks inside 50. Modra!
No.
Come on! Tried to scoop it up on the half volley. No mark.
Frustrating time for Tony Modra. It was very, very close to a mark. It was the classic half volley.
I think it actually goes through him, Jared. I don't think he picks it up on half volley. I think he gets to it before and it looks like a mark.
Well, here's Hart going for goal. But he's away to the left, thanks to the Good pressure applied by the Cats defence.
And he's just got to accept that things aren't quite working for him at the present time, Tony Modra. He'll know that that was a mark. He'll just have to put it behind him because the Crows need him to keep on leading.
Graham at this time goes short and finds McGrath underneath the scoreboard here at Football Park. One straight kick in it, favouring the Cats in a low-scoring contest. Sanderson spent time with the Adelaide Crows, spent time with Collingwood, goes in towards centre wing. Look at the work of Bond as he locks it up. Troy Bond playing in his 6th final. On the outer wing at Football Park. Full house. We'd expect nothing less, though, on a night like this. Lovely night now. Eventually it's Johnson who slips clear towards Robran. Takes the mark at half forward, the big man, and he'll look down the ground. Down towards Modra. Bang! He lets one go. He lets one go. What a beauty! So Robran gets his 2nd, and it's all tied up here at Football Park.
Yeah, great conversion and a fantastic piece of play here. Nice little turnover there. And Kane Johnson, who's starting to get some good touches, was a brilliant kick. He really saw where the space was sideways there for Matt Robran. And Robran then had to kick the big goal because once again, Modra not leading. Great kick.
65-metre talk from Rodman to level the scores. What a great goal that was. Fantastic kick. Really brought the crowd to life here at Footy Park. Johnson, a little give to Connell. Missed its target. He applies a tackle. Now Riccardi gets the chance. There is a free kick this time. It's going Geelong's way.
High tackle to Kilpatrick.
Former Magarey medalist. Kilpatrick's kick to half forward. Wren, great mark. Crows wearing their opponents down. He's gone wide to Connell at half back. He could almost run off. There wasn't anybody on the mark. There isn't. Away he goes. Connell will kick to centre wing. Robran coming into some terrific form. Hart, the dual-ball Australian, his hand pass doesn't quite find its target. That was smart, and it will be thrown in next to the interchange gates.
And this is what the Crows midfielders will be seeing as they come down to the ground. And you can see there are other 3 players. Troy Bond is trying to drag Mansfield away from the action, and Pittman is down there as the tall, just for the emergency bomb if Modra's on the lead.
Wren to Pickering to half forward. Now Snell takes the hand pass from Simpson. Hocking the target, gets in front. Good mark, Gary Hocking. And within kicking distance, any score would put the Cats in front. It's all tied up at Footy Park.
The Mensch coming off the ground. Stephen King back on just for the last couple of minutes in this term. 4 minutes, just over 4 minutes to go. An important kick, this one.
The leading Geelong goal kicker on the ground tonight, Gary Hocking. That's number 27 for the season. Geelong back in front. So Gary Hocking kicks his first. Geelong 6th at 6-5 to 5-5 at Football Park in the 2nd semi.
And it was important for the Cats to answer the onslaught by the Crows. Great little mark there, nearly slipped through, and a good conversion to put it. That squared up the goal that Kim Costa got early in this term, having a great battle, these 2 midfielders.
So the 25-minute mark of the 2nd quarter, Hocking's goal just steadies the ship for the Cats, but the Crows continue to come forward. Rintoul done a lot of damage since he's come on. Free kicks, 10 to the Crows, 6 to the Cats, into the forward line. Modra gathering the loose ball, can't get the right foot onto it. Kilpatrick was the pressurer. Rintoul again, Foxes for a free. Umpire doesn't buy it, away it's gone. McKinnon under pressure, Connell's a tackler. The Crows are hard and they're fierce at the man in the ball. Sampson can't get it out. Sanderson can, though, this time for the Cats. Out towards the wing, it bounces once, twice, and over the line in front of Jamison and Barnes.
And a pretty fair reception, I think, by the Crow supporters. They've been stiff, as we have a look at Gary Ayres. They've been stiff with the Modra mark. It wasn't paid, and that was clearly a free kick for holding the man.
So Wren, the dominant big man on the ground, does the work against King, the teenager from Geelong. Forward, Sampson keeps it inboard, it goes out. Scholl tries to sneak away, he can't, the boundary's got him. Back she comes for a throw-in.
5 kicks, 2 handballs for Brad Scholl. So his rate of disposal is down considerably. And you'd have to pay a fair bit of credit to Clay Sampson, who's been on him for most of the game now. One roll too many.
From the throw-in, it's pushed in towards the middle past Johnson and Riccardi. They fight for it. Back to Kane Johnson. Tried to flick it out to accommodate Connell. Now he's forced to try and grab McKinnon. Can't do so. Gets it across to Pickering, who's been busy. Floats it up towards the half-forward. Great tackle on Snell. He loses it. McLeod breaks free. Comes back towards centre wing. The kick goes towards Scholl. Can't control it cleanly. Gives a little bit of a nudge and has given away the ball. Shakes his head, but no major protestation. He knows that he gave the nudge. Oh, bang.
Well, that was obviously the classic square up.
One of them. Pittman could have been held there. Appeared most definitely to be. But Colbert plays on, brings it back towards centre wing. McLeod again pushes it down in front. Rintoul bends it back and accommodates Wren.
You're right, Terry.
He's the difference.
He has really given them a spark.
And this bloke too, Jared.
Yeah, he's
Sean Wren really busting them up.
6 kicks, 6 marks. Into half forward. McGrath got a hand to it. Sanderson tries to get it out and it goes straight back to him. He says, thanks very much. I'm at the bottom of the pack.
But Terry, you'd have to say that Geelong are still winning this defensive battle. They're still making the Crows look for those little keyhole passes, which are impossible in the regular season and almost, well, twice as hard in under the finals pressure.
Just under 2 minutes left at half-time. Geelong in front by a goal. Costa, who's been busy in this quarter, bends it over his shoulder. Bounce is going to be a factor. Favours Hocking ultimately. Scholl off half a step, kicks up towards midfield. No mark taken there. Jarman goes inside the high tackle. The advantages to the Crows. McLeod from 51.5 metres. A long bomb, and he has kicked it. Scores level again at Footy Park. What a final, boys.
It's a great game here, and it's evened up pretty hard. The Cats have to manufacture some goals here. They've only got one bloke down in the forward line at the moment. That's Darren Milburn. All the blokes are up at the other end of the ground. The Crows are attacking pretty hard, though.
Yes, and dragging those players down in there to block them up can also have its disadvantages. Ronnie Burns was just trying to get up into the middle of the ground to get himself a possession. By doing so, he took a very creative player, a sweeper, in the cloud down there within goal-kicking distance, and he finished beautifully.
So just under 2 minutes of play left. Ran again. Can't get it away this time. Pressure from Pickering. Bickley hard at the ball, wins a free kick too high.
But once again, it was the Crows' kick for goal was coming from outside 50. So we've seen a number of their goals this quarter having to be converted from the low percentage area outside of 50. They're going to have to find some other system, I think.
I think that reflects in the handball totals. Just a moment, it's Adelaide 33 to 58, so they're just not generating that run to get the ball. The final kick being right in the teeth of goals. Here they go, this time inside 50. Modern from behind. Graham claims the mark, but then goes on to Barnes. Stolen by Jarman. Slots it into the path of Bond and got him. Play it? Yes, he did.
And interestingly, Brad Vernon was the umpire that didn't pay Tony Modra his mark, which was, and that one was actually out of the back of Bond after the mark was paid.
What are you saying? Square up number 2?
No, I don't think they ever square up, but they certainly make mistakes, Sandy, and that one's certainly at the back of Troy Bond after the mark is paid.
So Bond goes long with just his second kick, and he's got it.
It's pretty hard to be holding onto the footy when it's 2 feet behind your feet.
A late revival, Greg.
Well, it certainly is. It's been fantastic. The intensity has really picked up. Robin McLeod, Jarman's getting a heap of the ball, and it's really going well for us, I think.
And interesting to know that Darren Jarman pinpointed Michael Mansfield's man, Troy Bond. He could have gone all the way himself, but I would have thought that before coming into this match, Malcolm Blight would have said, make Mansfield accountable. Kick the ball to his man, so he has to match up.
From a goal down to a goal clear with half half a minute remaining. Johnson is ripped off it, picked up by Simpson. A high kick just over the middle. He wanted Snell, but his opponent Goodwin takes the mark. Simon Goodwin, kick number 7. Goes up towards Robran on left half forward. Almost had it and charges after it again. Goes to co-big man Wren. He wants Jarman at half forward. Intercepting though. But taking. Look at this spark from the Adelaide Crows. Chadrin Toole is away to the left. And the Cats breathe a sigh of relief on the siren as the Crows came charging home in that half. And listen to this standing ovation. They love them here in South Australia. First half by both sides.
A great turnaround by the half-forward line of Adelaide. They were well and truly beaten in the first term, with Tim McGrath doing particularly well. Sanderson was also going well, but Rintoul came onto the ground. He gave them the spark that Peter Vardy wasn't supplying. And Matthew Rodran also started to take some marks across that half-forward line. Wren got in top in the middle. Darren Jarman also started having an impact. And I thought Kane Johnson also got a couple of pretty important possessions. So we're pretty well set up for a very close second half, Sandy.
6 goals to 2 in that second quarter favouring Adelaide. It's half time in this knockout semi.